Hi, I'm Hayden from the Digital Culture Network, and today I'm at the Museum of English Rural Life, and I talked to 3 people about their social media and digital marketing strategy that they've employed for this museum.
The Museum of English Rural Life is a university museum established in 1951, so approaching its 70th birthday, and it was a bit of a pioneer in its area. It started collecting a rapidly disappearing collection relating to the history of the English countryside, something that actually no other museum had done in this country before. My name's Kate and I'm Director of the Museum of English Rural Life. Well, we've been thinking about digital for quite a long time now. All museums really in the last 20 years really have had to address how to record their collections digitally, but for us really thinking about digital in a different way began perhaps about 10 years ago. I think we got on board with Twitter in 2009, so not the first but quite an early adopter. And the drive for this really came from the marketing side of the museum. We were struggling to get people to know about the museum, even here in Reading, and the idea of using social media, it was something that reached people, but it was also low cost. And we had started to work on this, and my marketing manager, Alison, was a real champion for it.
My name's Alison Hilton. I'm the marketing manager for the Museum of English Rural Life. So when I first started on social media, which was in about 2009, social media was much more about broadcasting without much conversation, without much social. And over the last 10 years, that's changed completely, and it's much less about direct marketing and more about the conversation, engagement. It's been a long process. It's taken us a long time to build up to where we are now.
I had a kind of worry about digital, I suspect people of my generation do, which is that we're about museums, we're about authentic, tangible stuff, and somehow thinking that you could just transfer that to the digital was sort of set up in my mind, a kind of tension, a problem.
We made mistakes. We started by perhaps using images that people weren't happy with us using, and people were quite sceptical as to the value of what we were doing. When we made some mistakes and certainly upset some people in the archives, that just led to us sitting down and saying, we need to do this, and what do you need us to do to make sure that you're happy with the way that we're using your images. And that discussion led to, it must be nearly 50,000 images now on our digital asset management being tagged for use in social media, so that we could go and look for images on the themes that we wanted without having to worry about whether they were okay.
I think it's engaged a completely different demographic and audience. Young people can see there's something valuable and interesting, and the kind of content and subject matter is interesting to them, and I recognise that approaching them through digital means is the way to start that engagement. Very lucky that one of the young project people on our staff at the time involved in helping transform the museum, and he had a kind of understanding about social media. That was really nothing to do with the people of my generation, and he started to use social media in a really new and different way.
The first iteration of the Absolute Unit, I think it was just tweeted as, look at this Longhorn ram. It got some pickup, but not amazing. It went back up as, look at this Absolute Unit, and obviously that went amazingly viral. So even that's an example of the fact that when something goes wrong, you don't have to just jump ship, you just sort of steer it a little. Social media gives museums the opportunity to demonstrate the curiosity that they want people to bring with them. Hi, I'm Joe Vaughan. I'm the digital editor for the Museum of English Rural Life. It's not the case that this stuff's literally just posted on a whim. A lot of strategic thought's gone into it, and a lot of data analysis.
Have the confidence to give things a try, to experiment, not to be afraid to get things wrong, to fail and try again.
Be kind of reflective and constructive in criticism and just to think, well, if that didn't work, how can we make it work?
I think for me, I've come on a journey and I'm absolutely now signed up to the idea that digital is part of museum experience.
And that's it. If you'd like to find out more about how the Digital Culture Network can help you with your social media strategy, then get in touch.